In today's video, I'm going to be talking about reasons why your prayers are not answered. So my motive of making this video, this topic, reasons why your prayers are not answered, is I do see a lot of people who thinks that their prayers are not answered. Maybe they felt like maybe God is not answering their prayers. There are reasons why your prayers are not answered, and I'm here to give you those reasons. Maybe if you see yourself doubting if really there is God, because I have encountered a lot of them who always tell you there is no God, why is this, why is that I've done this. But they forgot that there are consequences, there are reasons for all these things. So I'm here to give you the reasons. Maybe if you see yourself in this kind of situation, this video is for you then. So stay tuned. So first thing first, God wants to answer our prayers. There is no way he's a loving father. Why wouldn't he want to answer your prayers? Okay, let's read the book of Matthew chapter 7 verse 11. I'm using amplified version, and it says, if you then, evil, sinful by nature, as you are, know how to give good and advantageous gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven, perfect as he is, give what is good and advantageous to those who keep on asking him? So what he's trying to tell you, once you keep on asking him, he will answer your prayers. That is for sure. He will answer your prayers. So, but let's look in. I am going to be giving you 4 reasons why your prayers are not answered. And number one of it is you're not putting your prayer point in the right way. That is number one reason why your prayers are not answered. I am going to be reading to you the book of James chapter 4 verse 3, which says, you ask God for something and do not receive it because you ask with wrong motives, out of selfishness, or with an unrighteous agenda, so that when you get what you want, you may spend it on your hedonistic desires. So what he's trying to tell you now is, like I said before, you are not asking it in the right way. God knows we are here. He knows what we need. Yes, but you need to put it in his will. Let me just say, okay, you are asking for something. He knows you need those things. He knows the things you need. Maybe you want to travel to your country, and this traveling is not for his glory. It's not for him. It's for your own. Maybe you want to travel to show, maybe, I'm just saying, I'm giving an instance. You want to travel to let people know that you traveled abroad and you came back, something like this, something related to this. And it's not giving him glory. Like he said, as we read that place, for your selfish desires, for your selfish agendas, not for his will. And how do we know his will? His will is whatsoever you do, make sure you give him glory. Make sure that all you do is something that will glorify him. A lot of people don't know that. They think they are just here to have fun, get married, have children, do certain things, work, live, and so on. They don't know that their reason why they are here is to draw souls to God. Not just drawing souls to God. You can draw souls to God through your way of living. You can draw souls to God in so many ways. And you are doing something, whatsoever you are doing, you are not giving God the glory. He needs to take the glory. The glory is not yours. I see people even men of God, take the glory of God. It's not yours. It's God's. So, That's it. I have another portion of the Bible I am going to be showing you. Book of First John. I'm going to be reading chapter 5 verse 14 to 15, which says, "This is the remarkable degree of confidence which we as believers are entitled to have before him, that if we ask anything according to his will, that is consistent with his plan and purpose, he hears us." Verse 15 said, "And if we know for a fact, and indeed we do, that he hears and listens to us in whatever we ask, we also know with settled and absolute knowledge that we have guaranteed to us the request which we have requested from him." So you have to ask it in his will. And what is it his will? Like he said there, consistent with his plans. And what is God's plan in your life? You need to know his plan for your life. If you don't know his plans for your life, then you have not started living for God. You are living for yourself. You need to know the purpose why you are here on earth. I keep hammering on this because it's very important. Should I say 95% of people living in the world today don't know their purpose why they are here. They feel like they think they are just here to live life, have fun, make friends, No, that's not the purpose why God brought you here on earth. Every single soul have a purpose why they are here on earth. So you have to know your own purpose, consistent on his plans, because it's important. So that's it, which is the number one, right? Okay, we are done with the number one. That is putting your prayer request in the right way, in his way, in his plans. Make sure it falls in his plans, as in putting it the way he will accept it and answer your prayer fast. He answers prayer even before you say them. Yes. So I will leave the Bible verse in the screen so that you will see, you will know that God, even before you finish saying your request, he has answered you. Isn't he marvelous? So that takes us to the second reason why your prayers are not answered, and which is faith. Very simple. You prayed for something, but a second after praying, after a minute, you are done praying. So I don't know if he will answer me, or you have already started having doubts. And doubt is the least you cannot even think of. If you're a real child of God, doubt should not be your agenda. If you're a real child of God, you're not supposed to doubt. When you pray for something, believe with your whole heart that he has answered you. And that is it. Another thing is this: when people pray for something, Satan will come to them and start letting them think that things will not work their way. No. When Satan comes to tell you, are you sure he's going to answer? Why can't you reject this God? Satan is a trickish spirit. All you have to do is very simple. Satan gets behind you. That word is very powerful. Once you say it once, forget about it. Continue doing what you are doing. You will see it will flee and flee far. Even if he comes again, continue saying it. Satan gets behind you, because he knows how to deceive people, to make you think that God has not answered your prayer, whereas your prayer has been answered. So that's number two reason why your prayers are not answered. If you pray and you don't have faith and believe that your prayers are answered. Let's read the book of James again. The book of James again. This time we are going to be reading chapter 1, verse 6 to 8. Let me read. I read. But he must ask for wisdom in faith without doubting God's willingness to help. For the one who doubts is like a billowing surge of the sea that is blown about and tossed by the wind. Verse 7 said, "For such a person ought not to think or expect that he will receive anything at all from the Lord." Verse 8 now says, "Being a double-minded man, unstable and restless in all his ways, in everything he thinks, feels, or decides." You see, if you see yourself doing this, you are unstable, you are a double-minded person, and you are a restless person. In all you do this. Don't expect to get an answer. See why your prayers are not answered. You doubted. When you pray for a car, just believe that you have received that car. There is this man that was praying for something. He was in the church. He doesn't have anything to eat. This thing I'm telling you is a life story. He doesn't have anything to eat. He was in the church praying. And after he said, even if he breaks his fast, he still does not know what to eat. He don't have anything to eat. And on the process, someone, just as he's praying, someone just touched him behind and gave him some amount of money. You see how God has provided for that man. God, my God is a provider. I boast with his name because he has never disappointed me. I am a living testimony. I'm not boasting, even though he said whenever you want to boast in him. So it's not a boasting stuff, but this is reality. My God is wonderful. The God I worship, ever living God, he never changes. He remains the same today and tomorrow. He never changes. I want you to trust in him and have faith in him. Believe in him. He answers prayers. Another man narrated how he was praying for a car. He was still in the church, I think so, yeah. Someone gave him a car key. And he said, "What for?" The person said, "It's yours, take it." And he was like, isn't this God wonderful? I want you to know that the God I worship, the ever-living God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, never changes. He's ever the same, yesterday, today, and forever. I want you to trust and believe in him. When you are praying for something, you are praying for a life partner, you are praying for whatsoever, always make sure that as you have put it in prayers, believe that your prayers are answered. If you have doubt, you will never get that. Believe your prayers have been answered. So that takes us to the third one, and that is your way of living. This is so important. I do see a lot of people trying, the way people are living their lives today. They don't care if there is God or no God. They don't care. When you tell them, you and your God self, go and sit down. And most of those people, where are they? So, my point exactly, your way of living should be pleasing to him. If you want that your prayers to be answered. A lot of people will pray for so many things, but the way they live their lives, the way they prostitute themselves, the way they steal people's things, the way, they take things that doesn't belong to them, the way they live a life of malicious life, very wrong. It doesn't help. Your prayers are not answered. These are the reasons why your prayers are not answered. You will be wondering, are you sure there is God? Someone even called me one day when I was in Nigeria and was asking me, how is this God? Are you sure there is God? Because I was so shocked. This person, I know this person from the church. He still serves in the church. And I was like, what? And this person asked me this question wholeheartedly. I explained. But sometimes I do think people know things like this. But after this person asked me this question, I said yes, a lot of people are living out of ignorance. And that is part of what motivated me in sharing my own ideas here on YouTube. So, your way of living, is it pleasing to him? You have to watch it very well. If you have done, if you pray the right way, and you have faith, and you have all these things, but you're not living right, then something is wrong somewhere. You have to check very well. And if you do all these things and your prayers are not answered, then you have to check somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. So this is the third one. And I'm going to be reading to you guys the book of Psalm 66, verse 18, which says, if I regard sin and baseness in my heart, that is, if I know it is there and do nothing about it, the Lord will not hear me. Yeah. You see, the sin we are talking about is the sin that you know you committed a sin. There are things you did that was sinful in the sight of God, and you know it very well, and it is still in your heart. You have not poured it out to Him and asked Him to help you. Your prayers will not be answered. So, when you live a life that is not worthy for Him, He will not answer your prayers. So that takes us to the final one, and that is listening to God. You know, when we talk about all these things, some people will pray, but when God tells them, okay, now your prayer has been answered, do this, they don't do it. They have already fasted. They have fasted for that. But when God says, okay, do it like this, they will not do it. They will do it their own way. Because the way of God is not the man's way. Our own way is always glittering, shining. But God's way is not shining. Why I say God's way is not shining is that God's way is not something, when it's shown to you, you will like it. You will frown because it's not what you expect. But when you walk through that way that you don't like, you will see that the way is even the best. Give it a try and see what I'm talking about. I don't like when after saying you don't try it. Give it a trial. I speak out of experience. God's way is the perfect way, but it's not smooth. It's not beautiful in our sight. Yeah, it's not beautiful in our sight. So let's read the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 14. So let's read and see what it says. And my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then I will hear them from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. If only they can do these things, calling on His name. They are called by His name. But if only they can humble themselves. Humbling yourself is part of listening to His will. If He said His will is for you to leave your country to another man's country for His sake, do it. For His sake, do it. He will give you everything you need. You will not lack anything. But when you say, no, why will I go there? I like to stay here, and you remain there, that is it. You have lost everything. And things not just being hard, things will be hard on you. You will regret ever taking that step in the first place. So These are the reasons why your prayers are not answered. You are not putting it in His will, in the right way it's supposed to be. You have faith as you pray that He will answer you, your way of living. And finally, when He answers your prayers, are you willing to listen to Him and do it the way He wants it? If you're willing to do this, then His will, His plans will perfect in your life. Things will work good for you. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. So thank you for staying tuned, and see you on my next video.